envelope method. But digital, what if I told you that the reason you keep running out of money has almost nothing to do with how much you earn? You could make $2,000 a month, $5,000, or even $10,000 and still feel broke before payday. But there's an old money system that helped people control their spending for decades. It's called the envelope method. And today, we're taking that old school system and turning it into a digital money system you can use from your phone. Because the most important part isn't the envelopes. It's what happens when your money finally gets a job. Imagine this. It's the first day of the month. Your paycheck arrives, and for a moment, you feel rich. You pay a few bills, order some food, buy something you've been wanting, and maybe pay for another subscription. Then life happens. Your car needs gas. Your grocery bill is higher than expected. A friend invites you out. Suddenly, you open your banking app and think, where did all my money go? Scary part is that you probably didn't make one huge mistake. You made 20 tiny the ones. $12 here, $18 there, $35 somewhere else. Because those expenses don't feel important individually, your brain ignores them until they become a big problem. But this is where the envelope method changes everything. The traditional envelope method is incredibly simple. Imagine you get paid $3,000. Instead of keeping all $3,000 in one place, you divide it into categories: rent, groceries, gas, entertainment, shopping, and savings. Each category gets its own envelope. If your grocery envelope has $400, you have $400 to spend on groceries. When the envelope is empty, you're done. No guessing, no complicated spreadsheet, and no checking your bank account every 5 minutes. The envelope gives your money a boundary, and that boundary creates something incredibly powerful: awareness. But there's one problem. Most of us don't carry cash anymore. We pay with cards, phones, apps, and online subscriptions. So how do we use an old cash system in a digital world? That's where things get interesting. Instead of physical envelopes, we create digital buckets. Think of your bank account like a large room. Your paycheck enters the room. But before you start spending, you mentally divide that money into different buckets. For example, you might have $1,500 for bills, $400 for groceries, $250 for transportation, $200 for fun, $400 for savings, and $250 for everything else. Now your money has a purpose. You don't look at your bank balance and think, I have $1,900. I can afford this. Instead, you ask yourself, which bucket does this purchase come from? That one question can completely change how you spend. And here's the best part. You don't actually need 10 different bank accounts. You can start with just 4 digital envelopes. The first is bills. This includes rent, utilities, insurance, phone bills, subscriptions, and anything you know is coming. The second is needs. This covers groceries, gas, transportation, and basic household expenses. The third is wants. This is for restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and weekend activities. And this envelope is important because budgeting shouldn't feel like punishment. You are allowed to enjoy your money. The fourth is future you. This is where emergency savings, investing, and extra debt payments go. This is the money that buys you freedom later. And remember, you don't have to perfectly predict every expense. Your goal isn't perfection. Your goal is control. Now. Imagine you put $250 into your digital wants envelope. 2 weeks later, you've already spent $230. Then your friends text you, dinner tonight? You check your budget and realize you only have $20 left. This is the moment where most people make a mistake. They say, it's only one dinner. Then, they use money from another category. And that tiny decision breaks the entire system. Instead, the digital envelope gives you a choice. Spend the remaining $20 or wait until your next paycheck. And here's what happens when you make yourself wait. You start asking a powerful question. Do I actually want this, or do I just want it right now? That question can save you hundreds of dollars. But there's one category where you should never use the excuse of, I'll save later. That category is your future you envelope. This is where savings become automatic. Let's say you earn $3,000 a month. Instead of saying, I'll save whatever is left, try the opposite. Save first, even if it's only $50, $100, or 5% of your income. The amount matters less at the beginning. The habit matters more. Because if you wait until the end of the month to save, you may discover something strange. There is nothing left. But if you move the money first, you learn to live with what remains. And that's exactly how small savings can become serious wealth. But now comes the question, how do you actually track all of these digital envelopes without making your life complicated? You have three simple options. The first is a budgeting app. Use an app that lets you assign money to categories, and those categories become your envelopes. Every time you spend money, subtract it from the correct category. The second option is a spreadsheet. You don't need anything fancy. You can simply track the category, starting amount, amount spent, and amount remaining. The third option is your banking app. Some banks allow you to create separate saving spaces, sub-accounts, or spending categories. If your bank offers these features, you can use them as digital envelopes. But remember, the best system isn't the most advanced one. It's the one you'll actually use. And there's one mistake that can destroy your system even if everything else is perfect. Don't create 25 different categories. This is where beginners get stuck. They create envelopes for coffee, restaurants, clothes, movies, gifts, birthdays, travel, online shopping, gym memberships, haircuts, and everything else they can think of. Suddenly, budgeting feels like a second job. Don't do that. Start with 4 or 5 broad categories. You can always create more later. Your budget should make your life easier, not harder. And there's another simple trick that can make the digital envelope method even more powerful. The rollover rule. Let's say you budget $400 for groceries, but this month you only spend $350. What happens to the extra $50? Don't automatically spend it. Let it roll over. Now next month you have $450. Maybe groceries cost more. Maybe you can buy in bulk. Maybe you simply keep building that cushion. The same thing works with your fun money. If you have $80 left at the end of the month, you can let it roll over. Suddenly, you're not constantly starting from zero. You're building momentum. And that leads to something most people never experience with their money: financial breathing room. Think about what happens when you finally have breathing room. A surprise $300 bill doesn't automatically become a crisis. Your car needs a repair? You have a plan. Your friend invites you somewhere? You know what you can afford. Payday arrives? You don't immediately feel like the money is disappearing. Because every dollar already has a job. And that's the real purpose of the envelope method. It's not about restricting yourself. It's about removing the constant stress of wondering, can I afford this? Your money already answered the question. So here's your challenge. Before your next paycheck arrives, create your first 4 digital envelopes: bills, needs, wants, and future you. Give every dollar a purpose. And for the next 30 days, don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being aware. Because here's the truth. Small money decisions don't look powerful today, but repeated for years, they can completely change your financial life. Yamara scripties ko tu shot bana du seo kar katato bahido. If you want more simple money systems that actually make sense, subscribe to Personal Finance for Beginners. And comment below, I'm starting my envelopes. That way, you're not just watching this video, you're making your first move. Remember, you don't need to make more money to start managing it better. You just need to give the money you already have a job.